about it and do something!
Suck my big earth with that bullshit.
Really?
It's like a gentle hate.
Do we have another benevolent star here? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you benevolent? Is your friend benevolent?
My name is Logan Paul, and I think I'm coming out of the flat earth closet.
This is so fucking depressing. I can't be a flat earth person.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have a flat earth and things making sense.
Good evening, YouTube, and welcome to Gem's Flat Earth Sunday Roast. Yes, we are back with the show that they don't want you to see. In tonight's show, we bring you the very best from the last week in Conspiritardia, including the lies of the COVID lighthearted, hot news from the world of entertainment as Flat Earth gets its own TV series, and finally, the eagerly awaited return of the King! Yes, tonight we finally find out what's buried in the cave. All this and more in tonight's flat-packed show. I am your host, Gem, and joining me, as always, are just some of the cool kids from the Debate Flat Earth and More Discord server. They are Curved and Kosho.
Yeah.
He said,
should have said
just
the coolest
as the music
kids.
Finishes. yeah, the coolest. The only ones who can still be asked to turn up.
You know, I'm definitely most excited about that King. I think I told you about that the other day. That I was curious because we hadn't seen him in like a month or so. Last we heard was they were going to that cave to find out what he really found in there or whatever.
I can't.
And so yeah, I'm excited.
I thought I'll just have a look at the last minute, and sure enough, there he was. So. Yeah, it was uploaded yesterday, so I was pleased to come across that one.
Ah, yes.
So, how are you, Curved? Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Everything's good.
That's good to hear. So, I'm desperately trying. We're in a right mess this week because well, I should explain actually, shouldn't I? The last week there was no show because I was still on a strike, and the week before I got a strike for what YouTube called impersonation. That is when you're pretending to be another channel or uploading content as if you're another channel, that kind of thing, which I wasn't doing. So I don't know why that happened. I guess they didn't like something that I did that was COVID or 5G or one of those sort of things. Anyway, so that's where that show went, and that's why there was no show last week, and that's why we're in a mess this week, because we had to sort of check every clip to make sure it wasn't going to trigger any strikes, and because of that, they're kind of all over the place a little bit. So for that reason, I am at this present moment frantically searching for this clip, he said. Right, no, so let me introduce this then. I think we're there. So, a little serious stuff to kick off with. Here is Dr. Wilson.
Hey, Dr. Wilson here. So this channel in the past few weeks has hit the 1,000 subscriber milestone, which is more than I really could have expected with this channel. So I thought I'd make a special video talking a little bit about why I do what I do. So these days I'm a molecular and structural biologist. I make my living doing research in a biology lab. But I spend some of my free time making videos on YouTube debunking conspiracy theories and misinformation. But I used to be a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, sorry. No, yeah, seriously, about 10 years ago, I was a conspiracy theorist. I thought that 9/11 was an inside job, Ancient Aliens was one of my favorite TV shows, and I thought that fluoride was poison. I was particularly deep in the 9/11 conspiracy theory. I fell for YouTube documentaries hardcore, and I would spend hours, even while my friends were over, I would just ignore them, commenting on YouTube videos, arguing with people about 9/11. Yeah, it's weird to think about now. But now I'm a PhD scientist, and I spend some of my free time debunking some of the same conspiracy theories I might have believed 10 years ago. So, what changed? And I think the honest answer to that question is I just learned a lot more about how science is done. And once I learned that, it was really hard to keep these conspiracy theories that I was really deep into as beliefs. So before the QAnon crowd claims that I was brainwashed and indoctrinated, let me explain. For me, believing those conspiracy theories meant also believing that scientists were either bought, silenced, didn't want to speak up because they were afraid of being made fun of, or one of those reasons. And being a scientist in the scientific community, none of that is true. None of that can be true for a massive conspiracy to exist. And that's because science is an international community of hyper-competitive nerds who will cut you if you say something wrong at a seminar. Anytime a scientist gives a talk, or writes a grant, or submits a paper, we are subjecting ourselves to a lot of scrutiny. And that is an environment where you want to be as careful as possible and check all of your data, all of your work, and make sure you're doing things right. The point is, in order for a conspiracy like vaccines are poison to exist, you would need to pay off or silence an army of scientists from all around the world, all of which would love to have the title of the person who saved the public from poisonous vaccines. I mean, that would be a huge discovery that would earn them a lot of respect in the field. But if the data just doesn't support that, then they're not going to go for it. At the end of the day, scientists respect the data. If the data is saying something that their hypothesis doesn't agree with, their hypothesis that they might have hatched from this really great idea that they got really attached to, then that hypothesis gets thrown out, no matter how much they like it. The data always has the final say, and if you're not representing the data, you're going to get called out for it, and you're going to look stupid. Getting a PhD involves a lot of feeling stupid. Anyway, I think over the course of maybe a few months, as these ideas that I'm talking about became more and more clear to me, I started to abandon these conspiracy theories that I had started to really hold really close and consider actually a part of my identity. And I let them go. Once I learned how to learn in science, once I understood where to go in order to actually see the data, understand it, and analyze it myself, that felt way more empowering than I ever felt by believing conspiracy theories and getting that feeling of knowing something that nobody else knows, or some hidden truth that very few other people understand. It was just a totally different world. But along the process of becoming a scientist, I realized that maybe the reason there are so many conspiracy theories and so many ideas that just completely disregard science is because scientists aren't really good at making themselves heard or communicating these things. Maybe that's why it took me so long to really understand it. And I think this was confirmed for me while I was getting my PhD, and I got almost no training in how to effectively communicate my science to my own department, let alone the general public who pays our salaries. And to me, that means that scientists can do better, and that we are doing a disservice to the public by not being good at communicating. So that's really why I started this channel, because it's not only frustrating to me to see conspiracy theories and misinformation all over the internet all the time, but it's frustrating for me to watch my peers do nothing about it. And I felt like I wanted to just do something. And this is my way of trying to do something.
So that was Dr. Wilson, who is a Pirates fan, it seems, and that's not popular, it seems. So
It's interesting though. Did he say he was right now a PhD, or is he a PhD student?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, regardless, I don't know, but he said like 10 years ago he used to believe in this stuff. Now he doesn't so much. I mean, there's still some conspiracies that I still think are true. But I mean, me 10 years ago, I wouldn't say I was a flat earther in any kind of way, but I mean, I probably believed a lot of the other, like, so even some of the more out there ideas that they had. So I can kind of see where he's coming from. Although I don't know why if he's a PhD student or something like that, he's a candidate, I don't know why he would be expressing this online to people. Seems kind of dangerous, but hey.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought he made some good points, though. I mean, I don't. Although in some ways I thought he missed it because he seemed to think it's all about science communication, and I don't think that's true. He did hit on it at one point because he mentioned about the feeling of knowing that you know something that other people don't know, and we'll be seeing a bit of that tonight, I think, in a few clips. And I think that is often, or at least part of what drives people in conspiracy theories, is the idea that they've got the lowdown on something, that they're privy to some secret bit of info that most people haven't got. And I think that is a big driver in it, to me, at least.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a lot of it, especially that definitely a lot of the appeal. I like I said, I even remember myself 10 years ago. I remember talking with my dad, talking with my friends, and you feel like you're just aware of something that everybody else isn't. You know what I mean? It's such an arrogant stance. But
right.
what he said about scientific communication, is that's the phrase he used? Because
yeah, he was talking about communicating science, basically.
Right. Well, Neil, that's why that one masterclass that Scott on his masterclass that he let us use, the one with Neil deGrasse Tyson. I think that was a very interesting video. Just because I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he also says like weird and out there stuff, and not everybody agrees with him. But when he was talking about communicating science, I think he kind of shed a lot of insight on really what the miscommunications are with what people perceive as far as being able to reach everybody in a way that everyone's gonna understand. Because most of the time, if you're just giving people facts and figures, and especially in arguments and stuff, most people aren't going to digest that, especially if they're already adverse to what you're saying.
Right.
So yeah,
and we tend to get, I mean, I think a lot of science communications, if you like, is stuff that finds its way into the media that's then been sort of sensationalized and then at the same time dumbed down by the media, and then you end up with it's photoshopped because it has to be, or stuff like that can just end, or Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about the football just yeah,
exactly,
going through the post because of Coriolis, where he's sort of making a point, but when it's challenged, it doesn't always stand up that well. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The challenge of people who are trying hard to not understand it.
Right. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see this guy. To see like what he would, because at the beginning though, did he say that he ever believed the flat Earth, or he just said just conspiracy?
He didn't. He never mentioned flat Earth.
So honestly, he could have been a lot like me then. 10 years ago.
I mean, he talked about 9/11 a lot, didn't he? And I think that was probably his thing. But I don't know what other ones go along with that. Moon landings, I'm guessing.
Sure, yeah.
And perhaps
there's other dudes like I don't know. I don't want to name him, I guess, because he might not want to be named this way. But a guy who comes into your server, he's a really smart dude. He's definitely not a flat earther at all, but he's got the same story as me. And I think there's probably a few other people who said that as well. Right. And I think there was probably kind of like how there's a flat Earth movement right now. I think there was some kind of upsurge in that 10 years ago, because there's a lot of different people who say the same time frame.
Right. Yeah. I think so. All right, let's have another clip.
Yeah, it was a bit serious, though.
Yeah, it was a little bit. This is a bit less serious. I have to admit that I don't know much more about this clip than the clip itself. Suffice to say, a flatty has made it onto the telly again. Let's take a look. Whoops. I've turned the sound down. Bollocks.
Science says it is.
Mainstream science and history is twisted. It's a little truth here with a whole lot of lies.
That is correct.
The Earth revolving around the sun is hard to prove. Why is the moonlight cooler in the light than it is in the moon shade? What is gravity? And nobody knows really what gravity is. Chemtrails, I'm not so sure what they are, but I know what they're not. The Earth feels flat to me. It's not easy to understand a vacuum. I choose not to believe human beings travel to the moon. You know, the Earth sits on pillars. Public schools are teaching kids a whole lot of lies.
This family is really ridiculous. They live in a fantasy world. Are you open-minded?
I'm entitled to believe whatever.
And you are.
I don't understand why something that hasn't been touched, seen, or smelled, like the moon, can be taught. That is just, you know, somebody else's imagination. You know, so then why can't I teach my imagination? If Felicia challenges my ideas or beliefs, I will do my thing the way I do it.
I read in the manual that you guys said that you believe that the Earth is flat.
I don't understand how there can be a molten lava core. You're looking at a 4 to 4,000 something miles. I don't know anybody that's been that deep. And I don't see how they could have, and I sure as hell haven't seen any proof of it.
Seriously?
I mean, the guy that came up with a round ball Earth shooting through the universe at, you know, millions of miles an hour. I don't know all the math. I'm just saying, just ridiculous speeds. I mean, they didn't have radar guns back then.
Wow, that's insane.
It's easier for me to understand that the Earth is flat than it would be what mainstream science says it is. While it's
so
shooting,
no man on the moon.
Oh no. I don't.
You're killing me here.
Yeah, it kills me to think that they want us to believe that.
That is insane.
My grandfather was an aerospace engineer. He helped build Apollo 13, and I don't think he had any idea. You know, I don't think he was in on the secret either.
My fear is that he may actually be teaching his kids the exact same thing. And if that's what they're learning, then they're being set up for failure.
So that was Wife Swap USA, which I don't watch and haven't watched, and a flat earther's on it. So I just thought that might be interesting.
That's amazing. Was this trading spouses? Is that what you said this was?
Yeah, wife
trading
swap.
spouses?
Yeah, called wife
swap. Okay, yeah, same idea. Yeah, those are always crazy. But oh man, I'd love to have seen the one where a flat earther, where he trades spaces with because you know it's funny. I always say this, but their arguments are when you hear him talking, it sounds just like the same things you've heard. But honestly, only like 2 or 3 people are actually effective at arguing those. And I think people like him hear other people making those same arguments. And then when he repeats them, he's not capable of it. So it ends up coming out like...
molten iron core can't 4,000 miles.
Right.
Sort of, yeah. There was just...
Sounds like you could have heard that on Nathan Oakley.
Yeah, exactly. There was just a little slight essence of Oakley in there, wasn't there? Just for a moment, and then it went.
Yeah. Sometimes I see these guys and I wonder if like we've actually ever come across them before and just like they don't know it. Like they hadn't made it known that they were, you know, on wife swap.
RSC is suggesting that you should go on wife swap, Kosho. Although I think you need to have a wife to swap, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think you just...
I can always sign up. Yeah.
I don't think you just get one free kind of thing. You have to have one to trade.
Maybe I'll use my sister. Maybe, I don't know.
Are you with us, Curved?
Yeah, I'm here. You guys are doing fine. That guy, his arguments are all either I can't believe it or I can't understand it. That's it. That's all he's got. He's an idiot.
There's some sound bites there though, with the radar gun thing. I'm like, what the hell?
Right.
Well, that would have been quoted if that was said on your server. No radar guns back then.
You've got to keep talking now because I've now got to find the next clip. And where?
Well, you should have used my playlist of Twitch.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. It's on this same. Video clip. So I haven't got too much work.
Oh, I got you. It's the one that they're bound together.
Yeah, this is the last one from this one though. So I think it's about.
Fair enough. No, I mean, if anybody wants to volunteer to pretend to be my wife, to be on Wife Swap, I'm totally down to do that. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I guess that show must have gone out by now. Must have done, else we wouldn't have seen that trailer to it, would we? So yeah. So
I feel like I've heard somebody bring that up before, though. Like I vaguely remember somebody bringing that up, that there was like a flat earther on either Wife Swap or Trading Spouses.
Right.
I think those are. And there's other shows like that.
It would be interesting to see how it went down. Maybe someone will root it out for us and send it to me.
Those are always dangerous shows to be a part of, I'm sure. Especially, I mean, I don't know how you would feel having a wife and having some other dude sleep at your house for a month or however long it is.
I did actually apply to be on a reality show once, and I got through to like the final 100 people, which is quite an achievement when there's thousands and thousands. But I didn't get any further than that. I'm kind of glad as well.
You want to tell us what type of show it was?
They were gonna live in the Bronze Age, basically.
It's kind of like Naked and Afraid, except for maybe you're wearing clothes.
I think when it went out, I think it's sort of the show. I think they had to it sort of collapsed halfway through. I think they had to sort of give it up because of, I don't know, illnesses and things I can't remember, but I don't think it ever really probably happened. I think it was called 10,000 Years BC or something like that.
Oh my God.
So
that basically is Naked and Afraid. I mean, you don't get tools or anything. Like you just gotta like make. You get what you can't. You go naked basically. So
right, it was that sort of
naked.
You weren't actually naked, but it was that kind of thing. You know?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Maybe it was like the same show, and they started over, and they're like, you know what, that didn't work out. Those guys got sick. We got to have some appeal to it.
I think the weather just got too bad for it. You know, I think that was. I can't quite remember, but I'm sure it ended in disaster kind of thing. It sort of faded away, as I remember. Which would have been no fun if I'd gone on it and, you know, given up my job and all that shit to go on it.
Yeah, I know. So, but then again, you would have been able to get paid and then not have people see it. That's probably a benefit of it getting canceled.
Well, yeah. Well, I think it went out. Some episodes went out, but I think it just ended early. You know, I think that was how it worked. Anyway, but I was quite pleased to have got through to the final 100. I thought that was quite a bit of an achievement. I was stuck there with all these sort of, you know, Big Brother wannabes, though, in this room.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can imagine the sort of people that were there.
Well, I always figured, like, people who sign up, because when I was a kid, I used to watch a lot of reality TV, but then I started to realize that, like, shows like, what is it, The Real World, all these different shows, a lot of those people are just kind of actors who don't get acting jobs. Like they're just auditioning for
there were a lot of people
jobs,
like
basically.
that. Yeah, there were a lot of people like that. Which maybe that's why I got picked. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't like that. Maybe that was. It was kind of at the time when I applied. I was kind of between jobs. You know, so it didn't really matter. You know, I'd been laid off, so. I thought, yeah, I might as well have a go at this. And I've got a friend who's a professional actor. And she said, oh, yes, you should try. You should do it. And I did. So anyway, that was that. All right. Time.
Well, you're famous now.
Yes, I'm famous now with my 77 viewers. It's awesome. In the past, I've featured a few First Amendment auditors on the show, and I have to admit I have sometimes enjoyed their antics. Well, it seems that it's not all fun and games. Here are some excerpts from a recent video by Schrodinger's cat. Whoops. Oh, bollocks, I've done it again.
Contacted by an official of a small Texas town that is being terrorized by First Amendment auditors. These frauditors say that they're crusaders for the Constitution, and I'm going to show you that they are not. They are terrorists. They picked a very poor, very small town to target, and my goal is to shine a bright light on the dark side of First Amendment auditors. I've been given documents and recordings surrounding this situation, and I'm going to show them now. The central figure in the terror that is being visited upon this small town is Otto the Watchdog. Here is how he is described in the offense report that was sent to me. I've redacted the information that you see as X's to protect Otto's personal information. Knowles is a private citizen who travels around the country engaging in activities that include confronting law enforcement officers and government employees, berating them with verbal attacks, refusing to identify himself, and oftentimes refusing to obey lawful orders, videotaping his encounters before uploading them on social media platforms. His mission appears to be spreading discord and chaos through his YouTube channel that attracts followers who make contributions to support his efforts. He posts these agency and city phone numbers and encourages his followers to call Flood. Winston Knowles identifies as a First Amendment auditor. That description is in keeping with what you are about to see.
I'm here in Hawk Cove, Texas. It's Hunt County, and it's known as the poorest state or the poorest city in Texas. I was donated a truckload of food from Victory Baptist Church.
I wonder if that church condones his signs and tactics.
The police chief of the city told me that I would have to have a permit. But the system is not going to fuck itself. So I'm here to do it for them. And if I can, give some food away to people who need it, that'd be awesome too.
He just told us right here that his goal isn't to give away food. That's just an excuse to spread hate in a small town that has few resources to fight back against Otto and his mob.
And what are you doing here?
I was called with a complaint by a citizen that called the chief of police, and the chief of police referred me to come here.
Okay, well, I told the
when we
chief
get a
of police,
complaint, we have to act on it.
Okay,
What
I
does
yelled
that
at you.
sign have to do with giving away food?
Absolutely nothing.
When we get complaints from citizens about you and that your sign and your actions are causing a disturbance, that legally constitutes disturbing the peace.
Looks pretty peaceful to me, man.
We get phone calls. People come by. They're not going to stand here and confront you because they don't know what kind of idiot you are.
A citation for giving food away. I just got a ticket. I just got a ticket for giving food away.
So after he got cited and went to court, he decided to actually get a permit, but as you'll see, he has a problem with honesty.
Why did you put charitable distribution activity?
Because, well, it's honestly, it's not even really a charity. I'm just...
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you're lying on the application? Because you
well, I don't...
Okay, wait.
Okay.
You told the judge yesterday that what you were doing was not charitable activity. And if it's not charitable activity, then why did you circle charitable activity?
Well, I guess that just depends on definitions. Giving food away is charitable, but it's not necessarily a charitable activity.
I'm not going to argue the point.
I'm not trying to argue a point.
You know,
I just don't want to get in trouble and get another ticket.
but you're lying on an application.
Well, okay, well, let me scratch out that word then. It is a charitable activity, isn't it? Right? I'm giving the food away.
Yeah, but you're saying you told the judge yesterday it was not a charitable activity.
Well,
So which is it?
It's both, and also neither.
It's political, social, religious, and charitable activity.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so do you need another application? Because you told the judge yesterday in court that you were not doing a charitable activity.
Did I? Was it recorded?
Mr. Knowles?
Yes.
All right, Judge Cuccinell.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
I'm great.
Okay, point of fact. You sat there, you stood there in court, said it's not a charity.
Okay. I'm not a charity. I'm just a dude.
We're not going to try to do some. Please
I don't,
stop with the attitude.
I don't want to get. I don't want to get. I'm just trying not to get in trouble, man.
Well, change the application to political or however you want. It's not charity. I know you're using it as a tool to get people to come listen to your word, whatever that word is. It wasn't my point in court to figure out what you're trying to get across to the people.
Okay.
Fill it out correctly. Do not put charity because it is not charity.
I've been presented with voicemails that were left on the City Hall's phone service by Otto and his followers. I could never begin to play them all because there's more than I can count, but here's some of them. They're not for the faint of heart.
You fucking bitch. Yeah, hey, I just was trying to figure out who this blonde cunt is that thinks you need a fucking permit to take a picture or whatever. What does Gash think that she has power over everybody simply because she bleaches her fucking hair? You stupid fucking parasite. Get a fucking job that you produce something somebody wants to pay you for, you stupid cunt. Stupid lazy bitch. Get to work, you fucking cunt. It's 6 minutes after 9. The rest of the world has to be on time, not you fucking gov-tards. You piece of shit. Suck my dick, bitch.
You better fucking think twice before you block Eric's fuck Cops rant from your fucking phone system, bitches. I'm a fucking train wreck, and you can't afford Eric's fuck Cops rant. Ask Westminster how much they spent to fight me. Millions! Millions! You don't do enough meth in that city to pay me. You better fix your fucking shit, because I'm coming to get ya. Okay, so now not only did you block Mr. Knowles, but you instantly blocked me. You done fucked with the wrong bitch today. I'm coming down to Hot Cove today. You better have guns drawn, bitches, because I'm going to make a fucking mess out of your goddamn city. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Huh? Tell that fucking two-bit floozy whore that she better fix her shit. Because... Hello, my name is Eric Brandt, and I'm assisting Winston Knowles with his legal representation. And you have 24 hours to unblock his phone number from your city, or we're going to file a claim against you. You don't get to do that. If you think I'm fucking kidding, well, think what you want. There's only 500 people in your town. You can't afford for me to come to town, bitch. Fix your shit.
All of this is not an isolated incident. These frauders routinely give the phone numbers to city agencies and encourage their followers to call. Let's listen to Otto himself making one such phone call.
Yes, I was wondering if any sheriff deputies have committed suicide this week.
I'm sorry, what?
I was wondering if any of your dirty little piggies have shot themselves in the fucking head this week.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Is it?
Yes.
What can I help you with?
You could send some armed men to stop shutting down businesses. That would be awesome. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that those guys in the... Oh, you hung up because I had something important. Oh, you didn't hang up. Hey, I'm sorry. Some other band of gang members masquerading as legitimate law enforcement is calling me. I have to take this call. I'm sorry. Please commit suicide. Hello. Oh, excellent.
We received a call from this number. Is there something I can help you with, sir?
Potentially, you said Liberty, South Carolina?
Yes, sir, it is.
Oh, I was trying to get a hold of Pickens. That's the right town, Pickens?
Okay. Now, my dispatcher, we dispatch telecommunications for both agencies, Pickens, South Carolina Police Department, and the Liberty, South Carolina Police Department.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so if you, I guess the only way you'd be able to help me is to send a message to the Pickens chief of police and ask them to, I don't know, jump off a cliff or, I guess, I guess they could draw their sidearms, but that gets messy, you know, and that's just not fair to the citizens of their town.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. I can pass this along for you. Can I get your information?
You're so cute. No, I would rather not be put on any more lists than I already have been. This is basically just a reminder that if you keep poking people, eventually people are going to have enough of that shit.
So ask yourself, do you want these people in your town? Do you want them calling your city hall while they are trying to process the deed to your new house, or filing your marriage license, or finalizing adoption paperwork for the newest member of your family? We love to point and laugh at these idiots getting arrested. I love it as much as anybody, but let's look at the words from someone from this small town that is under siege. The staff for this city, myself included, have been terrorized by these people. Every single staff member is having anxiety issues over this. Most have been treated medically and are being medicated. This has gone far beyond what could be considered normal behavior. We've been relentlessly tormented, and the harassment continues. You know that they are desperate when someone reaches out to my little channel for help. Again, please share this video far and wide, and maybe something will be done about this nonsense.
And that was Schrodinger's cat. Excerpts of his video on that subject. The actual video is quite a lot longer than that, so worth a look. There's a lot more of those phone calls, those dodgy phone calls in the middle of it. So,
wow. I'm glad we got people like that in America, though. Upstanding citizens calling our, keeping our authorities in line. We need more guys like that, to be honest with you. No, but honestly, there was one point in there where some of those messages, I tell you, I wouldn't do this, but if I were to show you my answering machine, and if his voice was like a woman's voice, I swear to you, like it makes him look like a nun compared to some of the stuff that I've been, because it almost sounded the same, like some of the stuff that was said to him. Like, I don't know why he would.
Who calls you and what did they say?
Yeah, like I said, it's much worse than that. Except for at times it was flirting with being almost very similar. Like when he was talking about like going down there and they better have guns because he's gonna rip their he's gonna, I don't know, whatever he says. Very violent stuff. But it seems like that stuff is extremely illegal to say to city officials, like to openly threaten them like that. So I'm surprised that he was allowed to continue doing that.
Yeah, I think they had, gone beyond there, hadn't they? Crossed the line. But I guess they'd probably block those numbers or something like that so that they couldn't be traced, right? They could do that, right?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, this guy has a video. I mean, that's what I'm saying. This guy, Schrodinger's cat has a video and has, I guess he talked to the city and somehow got the voicemails. I mean, it sounds like they must know. And if they don't know now, then now they have to know because he made the connection between them that this is that same guy. So.
Oh no! I mean, I think from what I gather, we just missed it at the beginning there because I'd got the sound down. But it seemed like this city had approached him. I don't really know why. Like he said, it was his little channel and everything. So I'm not really sure how that came about. But it seemed like that they had come to him rather than him going to them.
Oh, wow. That's a bit bizarre.
So I guess they thought maybe the best way to fight back was to reach out on YouTube and get some, put some pressure on him via the YouTube community, which actually makes sense, really. You would hope.
Well, so I'm guessing this Schrodinger's cat, he must have already had videos about this guy then, or must have already been aware of him.
I think he's perhaps covered First Amendment auditors before. He did mention that. So
somebody at the city probably knows of Schrodinger's cat's videos and been like, what, let's just, put it together there. Because honestly, if they don't know for certain that it's the same guy, but they kind of think like it's obviously must be him, they don't really have a case in court. But if they can put it online for sure, display him that way.
I must admit, there's been times, I've kind of, I'm subscribed to a few First Amendment auditor channels, and some of the time, I've kind of enjoyed what they do because often you do get an egotistical cop. And I say First Amendment auditors, we've got our own UK version of these people as well. And it is good sometimes to see these egotistical cops being, just taken down a peg or two. But this is way, way, way beyond that. I mean, this is just
Yeah, of course.
you know, being a troll, but in real life. You know what I mean? Just really being a fucking big fat pain in the arse for no reason other than you just want it, you know, YouTube content, basically.
Yeah. You got to know your boundaries also and know what you're up against, because like I told you 10 years ago, I was very different when it comes to conspiracies, but I was also very much against the police and all that. And the thing is, it's like when they're outside their bounds and you know that, that's cool if you don't have to let them, you know, let's say they're not within their authority to, you know, take your ID or stop you for too long or whatever it is. But if at the same time you're being obstructive, annoyingly almost, then you're you're gonna cause them to possibly even go outside of their authority and you know, detain you. And if you're making a scene, then you're actually, it's within their rights to detain you and stuff like that. So once you start like operating like, you know, like this guy is, and you're doing this screaming and threatening and stuff like that, then it's actually within their rights to do something to you now. Because you're definitely breaking the law.
Right. It doesn't changes things a lot, doesn't it? You know, you start making those sort of threats, then you go down into that town as an outsider and start being a pain in the ass. And, you know, before you know it, you've been shot, you know, because someone was scared shitless because you made threats, or because somebody else like you made threats. Do you know what I mean? It really takes it to a whole other level. And I can understand how these people, you can imagine in this small town where, I don't know, I'm guessing, you know, they haven't got a lot of resources. It sounded, you know, it didn't sound like we were in a busy office with lots of people, did it? It sounded like there was one person sat behind a desk who has to deal with all this admin stuff for this town, you know. And, you know, it must be...
He said 500 people.
Right. It must be soaking up resources, having to deal with this as well, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
that's the other thing, though, is the fact that they have a gun. So even if they're not within their rights to do something, just the fact that they actually do have, and it's, you know, at the end of the day, if they were to have done something to you, they could easily get away with it based on you being aggressive with them. So, yeah, you just got to be smart. You know what I mean?
Especially in some little town in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
You could go there one day and just never come out. And no one will say
some people just
anything.
want to fight, though.
You know?
Yeah. Some people just want to fight. Like, you can tell that he's sort of venting about something else, it seems like, when he was making those phone calls and calling them names and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like calling them lazy for not being, like, there's all this other stuff. It seems like he's like
it
projecting
sounded a bit
or
like,
venting about, like,
it sounded a bit
totally
like
different
Democ.
person.
I thought it was maybe Democ.
Yeah. Incoherent screaming.
Complaining that it was, what was it, 9:05 or something, and you had to get to work or something.
Yeah, I know, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's obviously someone who's like had to get up and go to work. You know, it's like, fuck, I've had to be here.
Yeah, no, right? It's like, I have to be here to make these phone calls to be at work.
All right, are you still with us, Curved? Curved's
Yeah, I'm here.
What did you think to our First Amendment fellow?
I think he may have crossed a few lines.
All right. Okay, back to the streets of dear old Blighty now, because, as is the fashion these days, the Conspiritards have been out protesting. First, the Save Our Children movement is an offshoot of 17th letter of the alphabet and on. Essentially, it's 17th letter of the alphabet without the politics. So now everyone is a pedo, not just the liberals. Here are a couple of short clips from a recent demonstrations in the UK. Let's hope this adjustment to do. Bear with me. That was Save Our Children outside Buckingham Palace in the last clip. And there's been a few of these demonstrations recently. Riley went on one, of all people. Our very own Sleeping Warrior went on one in Liverpool recently. The common sort of, what they generally seem to do is sort of wheel out a genuine victim of abuse, an adult who was a victim, and then, pretend that the thing that they're saying is they're drawing attention to child trafficking and sometimes human trafficking. But really, this is QAnon. There's lots of people with where we go all logos and things on, lots of Q type claims on banners and things like that about the amount of missing children and things like that. All sorts of claims about people being arrested and charged with things that they haven't been arrested and charged with. All the standard Q stuff. So it's sort of an offshoot of Q. There's been a lot of these demonstrations in the US as well. Well, I say a lot, but quite a few in different cities. I don't know if you've seen any of it.
No, I mean, maybe, yeah, not these QAnon ones, to be honest with you, but when I saw the one that was that big one yesterday with all the cops in that square or whatever, honestly, it really reminds me of Occupy Wall Street in the sense that, like, I was very vocal about a lot of the stuff that was happening back in after the bailouts and all that in the banking system. Like, I was very vocal about that at that time. And the issue with Occupy Wall Street is you have a lot of people who are out in numbers protesting, staying there for months. I think they were camping there and stuff. But they're not really. It's difficult when you're protesting and you have no goal. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like this, like with these pedophiles, like they're protesting, and I don't like pedophilia. I don't like pedophiles. Right. But I don't know what you would achieve by yelling at this at Buckingham Palace or wherever they are, shooting over the fence, and like what do they think the Queen's gonna do? Like, doesn't she also not like pedophilia? And so nobody likes pedophilia. We get that.
They think the royal family are in on it. You see, they're definitely a target for these accusations.
Right, but the point is, what's the goal? Like, what would you if they could have their ideal claimsman? Like, what would be the conclusion?
Well, this is the thing.
Like,
they claim they're just trying to draw attention to it, to child trafficking. But really, it is about just running around accusing people of being pedophiles. I think it's definitely Q related, definitely. I did have a couple of interviews. I forgot to include them actually, but on Riley's video, he did a couple of interviews, and there's one right at the end where he's got this woman who's talking about how we've exposed them and they can't run anymore from us. It's all going to change now. All the standard sort of Q rhetoric, But
that's part of the problem too. Is like you're not exposing anybody,
right?
You're just saying people do it,
right?
Yeah,
that's it. It doesn't, and that's the thing. And I think they're using real victims. The one on Riley's video again, they've got this guy who comes out and reads out this like really, really long poem. Poems are very in at these protests, I've noticed. Annoyingly long poems. But anyway, he talks about his abuse and all this sort of thing, and he's obviously genuine. It's a terrible story that he tells. But then you've got all these people with, for instance, one of the, there was a sign there that said, I can't remember who it was, but some politician had been arrested in Canada for child abuse, and that's not true. It's just not true. That hasn't happened.
There was a story about the Queen. I'm not sure if that's true or not.
It might have been the Queen.
Yeah,
It might have been the Queen. Yeah, it's been charged as with an arrested for it or something. And there's another one, and this is a trick that they all seem to pull. Cathexis used to like to pull this one as well. Is they'll say, for instance, with regard to America, 800,000 children go missing every year, and you think to yourself, oh my God, 800,000. You know, and then you think, hold on a minute, 800,000. And then you look into this, and what you find is that there are 800,000 children reported missing. That is reports of missing children. But, of course, that's very different to the number that actually are missing, you know, because children are reported missing and then found all the time, aren't they, at their friend's house or whatever. Yeah. And very often, the sort of children that go missing in this way to the point where they're reported to the police are often serial offenders, if you like, and do it multiple times. And so that's how you end up generating these hundreds of thousands of reports. When I think the actual figure is, I don't know, it was, when I looked, I think it was 16 or something like that. It was you know, still a horrendous number, you know, children just never seen again. It's still horrendous, but it's not 800,000. You know what I mean? And they had a similar one. I can't remember what the number was for the UK, but they had the equivalent for the UK on a sign, on one of these banners. Another thing they do as well a lot is they put like loads of text on the banner. You know what I mean? They seem to have lost the art of banner making at these protests.
Right.
You know, they can't.
Same thing with the post. Like, you make a post, no one's going to read it if it's like a paragraph long. No, and if it's a sign where people are walking past you, no one's going to read a paragraph.
Right,
or, you know,
right. I'm
like
king
long.
of the long post. I am.
Yeah, it's just it's not. That's my whole thing. Is just not. If you have no goal, it almost is.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I remember that with what
playing victims.
I remember that with Occupy, and that was a criticism I'd seen leveled at them, and I take your point. Yeah, that did happen.
Yeah, because otherwise you're just displaying these victims, and you know, it's like, yeah, we get it. Like it sucks. I feel bad for them, but what do you? I mean, the only thing you can do about it is, you know, prosecute their offenders, their specific offenders. But if you're not pointing anybody specifically out, then you're just making people aware of something that they already feel, which is they don't like, you know, they don't like that. They don't like when people abuse other people.
Right. Right, shall we have another clip, which I think I've got ready. Whoops. Just get rid of this. Any thoughts, Curved? I thought he'd opened his mic for a moment then, but it's...
I was just wondering if Pink Floyd can sue the protesters.
Yeah, it was an awful chant, wasn't it? That, and you could hear one girl really clearly, couldn't you, with like a really strong London accent? I thought, "Hey, pedos, leave our kids alone." Oh God, that was bad. Yes. All right, let's have another clip. Staying on the streets of the UK now, Stand Up X is another loose organisation of anti-maskers, anti-vaxxers, sovtards and others. Here are a couple of clips of them in action, first in London and then in Bristol, where they attempt to serve sovtard legal documents on the city mayor. Exciting stuff.
We are the people, we are the power, we are Stand Up. It's lovely to see all the new faces. We're going to go for a march down Peckham today and make some noise, because we're not accepting these infringements on our rights. We don't want to wear masks that are detrimental to our health, that lower our oxygen intake, that make us breathe in toxins we can eventually breathe out. We don't want to put a mask on our face that is completely ineffective at preventing the spread of a virus.
So, we want to know what is going to be in this vaccine if we have to take it.
Probably some mercury from alcohol, aluminium, and all that other lovely stuff that they want to inject in everywhere. What's in the vaccine? What's in conventional vaccines? Aluminium, mercury, formaldehyde. Does that sound healthy? You sound like you want, you know, mercury is the second most toxic substance known to humanity. And you want to put that in your blood. You want to put that in your blood. For some, they want to give black people the microchip and the vaccine first. You know what? I don't think black people are stupid. Right? We've been slaves for so long. And guys, this is not a Black Lives Matter movement. This is everybody movement.
Hold on, John.
We're here to see this legal. She's false imprisoning us. He is committing for Bristol Council. In this envelope is a legal document highlighting the offences that he's committed and the offences that he's aided and abetted to. This is a notice of criminal coercion to aid and abet high treason and misprision of treason.
Okay.
We are serving this today on Martin Rees, who's the Mayor of Bristol. We've come in with 6 people. We've come in peacefully. We've come in and calmly and politely told the person at the desk what we're here for. And we've asked to speak to someone from Martin Rees' office so we serve them. And Security is now locked. This is false imprisonment.
False imprisonment. False.
You have detained us against.
You have. This is false imprisonment.
This is false imprisonment, sir. This is, you are liable to arrest, citizens arrest even. Under Section 24 of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act 1984, I can exercise citizens arrest if you false imprison us. Okay?
Open the door, please.
Open the door, please.
Open the door.
Open the door, please, sir.
Are you imprisoning us? Because we will get you arrested.
False imprisoning us.
You will be arrested if you do
You will
this
be
stuff.
arrested if you false imprison. Jonathan! Yes, we can hear you.
Well, he won't let us leave, though.
Well, then, can I leave, please? Because I've just popped in to use the toilet.
Jonathan, have a word.
The doors are actually locked.
The doors are locked. We have
So you can
evidence.
see them unlocking the door.
False imprisonment.
False imprisonment. That is false imprisonment. Should I exercise powers of
Yes,
And
I reckon you
I'd
should.
like you to know that I was extremely distressed to find myself locked inside the council building.
Yes.
Okay, this is
Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. I have half a mind.
It's not even 4 o'clock yet.
I have half a mind to request you phone the police so I can have you arrested.
He's got the police on the line.
You've got Bristol City Council written on your thing.
Sorry, can I just...
I'm just asking why I've been held hostage in the local council building. Can I speak to the police, please?
No, we're not wedging the door open, and we have video evidence. We have video evidence.
That you are lying.
We have video evidence that you are lying. Don't hold that door open. Don't. If he wants to shut it, let him shut it.
Let him shut it. Let him shut it.
If he wants to shut it, let him shut it.
Shut it.
He's the one in the wrong. Yes, we're trying to. We're
Can we
trying.
speak to the police, please?
Why don't you hold the phone so we can speak to him?
Yeah, they want to
Petition the mayor. We have legal documents to petition the mayor with.
yeah, that's what it is.
We have legal documents to petition the mayor with.
They say they have legal documents to petition the mayor.
To act contrary to this is treason.
All we want to do is serve papers and we will leave.
We will leave lawfully and respectfully, sirs.
Can we speak to the police, please? Can we speak
Could we
to you,
speak
please?
to the officer, please? Could we speak to the
Can
officer?
we speak?
Yeah. Let Jonathan speak. Jonathan.
Hello.
Hold on. Let Jonathan speak.
Hello, sir. Hello, hiya, this is Jonathan, and I'm one of the members of the group that are here today to serve a legal document upon the Mayor of Bristol Council. We've come here in peace, and we've come here respectfully and lawfully to hand this legal document.
That's what we want to do, and we'll
That's
go.
what we want to do, and once we have served this document on the other person, we will leave without absolutely any issues or problems whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, but his colleagues are here.
He's not here. Is the secretary here, please?
No, you're not going to see that. You hand it to us and we'll...
No, his secretary, we have to lawfully hand it to his secretary.
Yeah, it's a
and if
legal
he's here, he
it's
has to take it from us.
It's a legal requirement that we hand it. It's a legal requirement that we hand it to an official, not a representative. down the chain of command on. It is a legal document.
Could you bring the document?
Can you bring the document over here, please, sir? Yeah? Can you bear with us for 1 second, please? Yes, we're done. Yeah, can you read out the legal
Could you read out the legal document? Keep hold of it, though. Keep hold of it.
Sure. This is notice of criminal coercion to aid and abet high treason and misprision of treason. Notice to the agent is notice to principal, notice to principal is notice to agent.
Yes.
Yes, this has been drafted by the common law courts, and it's been drafted by common law. It's been drafted by common law courts and the common law solicitor for our use in this action today. Yes. It's been
Yes. The highest court of the land.
The highest court of the land.
We have the notice in the hand. All we wish to do
Is serve it.
is serve it and present it to someone from Martin Rees's office.
A representative.
A representative of his office.
We know we're here.
What's your name then, sir? Can we have your name if you're a representative?
Give it to me, I'll tell you my name.
Okay, yeah, let's...
If you're saying on video now that you're a representative and you give us your full name, we will serve it to you.
Right, my name's Hugh Edwards.
Hugh Edwards.
Thank you very much, guys.
There we go.
Hugh Edwards.
We could have done that from the start.
Thank you very much, Hugh.
In 30 days' time, we will take possession of this building, as is our right, and kick them out. We are stand up Bristol. We are the power. We are the 99%.
There you go, guys. Get sharing. Get sharing. We serve Bristol City Council. 30 days we're going to occupy the building.
And that was Stand Up X in Bristol, featuring, I guess, the only gay in the village. I think that guy was. That was fun.
The only. No, honestly,
well, they had a very, very strong Welsh accent. You know, the one that did most of the talking. That was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Welsh.
The guy who was. They go and they do this. I saw he was dressed like he was talking like he was doing something official, but he's like wearing that shirt with the skull on it and everything.
Yeah.
Like, why did he could have wore like a nice dress shirt? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like they're kind of polite too. It's like they're doing like a citizen's arrest. Like, please open the door, sir.
Yeah.
Please open the door. It's closed. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
He's not gonna. I don't know. He's not gonna listen to that. I really didn't understand. What are they arresting them? What are they accusing them of?
I don't know. I guess it's something to do with lockdown regulations. And they've got something. Right. They said it was from a common law court, and these are we've had them on here before. These people that they just appoint themselves judges of a common law court, and create these documents and stuff. And remember we had Judge 7, and and I can't remember what the other one was, but there was another one, and they do this common law stuff. But every time it's a different judge, so I'm sure they all just appoint themselves, Well, they must do. There's no one to appoint them, is there? So.
No. Yeah, but here's some advice: if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna tell somebody your citizens arresting them,
yeah,
you should probably actually do it and not just yell that at them.
Yeah, he kept sort of saying it, didn't he? He's going, "Do you want me to execute the citizen's arrest?" And he was like, doing like everything he could to not actually have to do it, wasn't he? Because he knew, what's he going to do to that, burly security guard? So, they've served papers from this fake court on a security guard, and then they reckon they're going to occupy and kick him out. And they've done that before as well, these occupy things, where they claim they occupied a building, and they just turn up and, get in the way at some meeting, you know what I mean? And everyone goes home, and... Yeah, before they've just hung around and eventually sort of done a deal and gone home, kind of thing, is what we saw them do last time, I think.
Some people, man, they just want to feel they're really doing something, but
right.
They look like a bunch of kids. It's weird.
Right.
That's why I can't wait till you play the king, because the king, he's really doing something. He's actually trying to be the king. You know what I mean? These guys are peasants comparison. Yeah.
Ooh, all right. Well, shall we have a bit more? Where did I get to? Let's have a look.
Yeah. Plus, at the beginning of that, I guess those were all the same people. The people protesting with the megaphones on the street. Like that's all part of the same group.
Sort of, yeah. They sort of, because this is Stand Up X, and they're one of these sort of anti-mask, anti-vax groups. And the first lot, of course, they weren't really that, but it is kind of, they do, well, they get together in Trafalgar Square, which is what we've got coming up. So, yeah. Hang on, just let me, right. We're about
Trafalgar.
Trafalgar.
You got a super chat, Jim.
I have indeed. Howdy, Tony V. Thank you very much for the super chat, Tony. Please feel free to send me a super chat if you want to, by the way. And I'll read out your comment.
Yeah,
where's Lale? Where's Lale? Where's Lale when you need him?
He must be at the movies.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, staying with the UK protests, the anti-maskers were out in force this weekend with a huge protest in Trafalgar Square, organised by anti-choice, anti-vax, anti-Semite nurse Kate Shimarani. Here are some clips of this protest, which is supposedly supposed to be against social distancing measures. Enjoy.
So if you just remember and imagine what it's like, that I am a scientist, I'm an immunologist, and I know that vaccines can make people sick.
He is an absolute god. Tomorrow I join him on a podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Dr. Andrew Wakefield on the screen. An amazing man who's going to be running for mayor next year. David Curtin.
Thank you to the most dangerous woman in Britain.
You cannot catch a virus. It is a lie that the Rockefeller Foundation, when they paved their way into allopathic medicine at the turn of the century, they invented it so that they could sell us their poisonous vaccines. Let's hear it now. We're going to hear his testimony now on the screen for Dr. Andrew Kaufman.
Yes! I'm Dr. Kaufman. Today, we're here to take back our freedom and our country.
What is happening in London? Make some noise! I did have a speech written out, but I've decided it's best just to speak from the heart. I just want to say that I love every single one of you. I don't know you, but we are the brothers and sisters of the human race. You guys are the truth, and you guys are the change, and you guys are the resistance. We are the resistance! My name's Sean Argyle. I'm an investigative journalist. I've spent the last however many years studying global corruption. The thing about global corruption, it really is global. All of the problems that we see in the world are all down to one thing. It's not down to the governments, it's down to the people who control the world. People think this is a conspiracy theory. Let me tell you, it's not. It's a conspiracy fact.
Yes.
There are people who are above the government, above the law, above the politics, and above the people. And they dictate to governments what and not to do. The reason I'm here today is to tell you about some of my research and how important it is that you view it, download it and share it with the whole world. Has everybody here heard of Pizzagate? Yeah! That is a beautiful response. I was one of the first investigative journalists to become aware of this back in 2016. These people are paedophiles, these people are Satanists. Satanists rule the world. They have no care for life, they have no care for humanity, and they have no care for you! Another subject I was studying was 5G. We've had the 5G weapon expert Mark Steele here. I'm going to keep this very simple. 5G is microwave radiation. They do not want you to know that 5G is deadly. They do not want you to know that they are killing children. They do not want you to know that the elite run the world. We, the people, hold the power. You, and every single one of you. We are the change. If enough people came together, if enough people stood in love and unity and oneness, we could change the world overnight. Literally, we could. We could change the world so quickly, you have no idea. If enough people just said no. That's all we need. We just need to say no. That's all we have to do. I need you to share this message far and wide. This is a message to the entire world. This isn't just about 5G. This isn't just about Pizzagate. This isn't just about COVID-19. This is about the revolution of the human race. The revolution of the human race. Very quickly, there's a thing called Article 61, Lawful Rebellion. Magna Carta was issued in 1215. This is our golden ticket to a revolution. This is how we change the world. Article 61, Lawful Rebellion. Research it, look it up. Common law, we hold the power, not them. Okay, the next. Okay, if you look over there, we've got police over. If they do try and get me, I'm going to keep talking. But guess what? I've got the 99% of the population with me. Yeah! Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is 9/11. A lot of people say, can we just say, let's just say rest in peace all the brave souls who were murdered on 9/11. As an investigative journalist, I can prove that the official narrative of what happened on 9/11 is false. I can prove that the official narrative is based on lies. These bastards think they can go Middle East.
Here they come, here they come, here they come! Here they come!
And they blame it on a man in a small cave in Afghanistan. It is bullshit!
Got a crowd going mental.
I'm tired of people
They're
all
coming
around the
up, mate.
world. No, decide. They're coming underneath the police. My YouTube channel, Sean Speaks. Listen to me. They're trying to get me to tell like what I'm saying. My YouTube channel is Sean Speaks YouTube. SEAN Speaks YouTube. Go on to this.
There it goes. It's gone off. It's gone off. It's going off.
And that was, believe it or not, a anti-social distancing measure protest with Pizzagate in it and 9/11.
9/11, yeah.
But we saw there what I was talking about earlier, which is this, you saw it so much in him. I mean, how old was he? 20-something. But he's an investigative journalist and he can prove that 9/11 wasn't as described, and he wasn't even born when 9/11 happened. So what investigative journalism has he done, really? And you saw that has anyone here heard of Pizzagate? Like,
yeah, right.
No. Has anyone in the world not heard of it?
You can lump a million bad. Like, you know what else sucks? The Holocaust. It was real bad. Like you can name a bunch of stuff. It's like that's not related to what you're protesting. So it's kind of just like you're including it to make it more important. But if you got an issue with the whole mask wearing thing, then just talk about that.
Tony in the UK put it well, I thought. He said, this isn't a rally, it's rabble-rousing. Using buzzwords like COVID, Pizzagate, 5G, just trigger words. He's not a journalist, he's a dangerous rabble-rouser. And I think that's true. And I think he's a fantasist as well. You know, he reckoned he got 99% of the population behind him, and all we had to do was say no. And the whole world could come together.
Yeah, it's a revolution of the human race.
yeah, just really juvenile, politics,
Just need love, Jim. Just need love.
I mean, it's just you want to be effective. Just have a goal. Talk about that. Talk about the problem. Talk about the goal. Just complaining like the rebel rousing thing. It's like. You're just trying to excite people, and they're all cheering for you because you know, like of course if you're like, oh, we need a revolution of the human race, like what would that look like? Who are you gonna revolt against? Like, I don't know. This doesn't make any sense.
I know. What how is that gonna work? And it's just, although I must admit, if I had been there, I think that would have been. That was a big crowd. It would have been inspiring, I feel.
Right, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It would have made me feel like I'd got the whole world behind me,
Right, yeah, exactly.
I've just sent the link to Tony V because he asked me, and, we've not got lots of panelists. I've got to say thank you very much to Truth Nerds who super chatted. Thank you very much to you for that.
Oh, yeah, let's get Tony on here.
Yeah, go ahead. What's the matter? You can't catch a virus. Let everybody in.
I don't know what the purpose of it, the whole point of that is.
I don't know how they were even allowed to do that. I don't really get how they could set up in Trafalgar Square like that with a, they'd got that van with a big video screen on it and all that sound gear and stuff. I just don't. They must have had permission, surely. I don't really know how that works.
Tell you that. Yeah, that guy from the last video should definitely take notes from that guy because he's loud. He's wearing actually a suit. He's not wearing like a band T-shirt with a skull on it. So you get more of an impression when you look official like that.
They said he said his name. He said he was called Sean Argyle. I think he said his name was. And I looked around for him, but I couldn't find him anywhere. It was difficult. Maybe I didn't quite hear his name correctly, but I think that's what it was. So, I've never heard of him.
Do you know if David Icke was at this same thing too, like he was at the last one?
I don't think he was at this one, no. I didn't see him on the thing. I think she'll have been fined for it. There were 30 arrests, I think.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, there was people. Well, no, I didn't see anybody like do anything to the police, but definitely there were, bouts.
But I didn't even know there was one yesterday because the one they've been advertising, the one I'm hearing about, is next weekend, next Saturday. So they're going to do all this again next Saturday, and I don't think this is going to go down the same way next Saturday somehow.
Yeah. Do you know about if Chemo was it said that he might.
Oh yeah, I did hear that he was going to go there, but I don't know if he actually did. I haven't heard from him. I sent you the link, Tony. I don't know. He's not turned up. Has he? Shit, I was meant to get another clip ready, I suppose, wasn't I?
Yeah, I want Tony to be here for that king. You know me. Those are my favorite parts.
Yeah.
I will denounce my American citizenship if he becomes king.
Right, let me find this other clip. Bear with me. This should be an easy one to find. It's the one that's on its own. There it is.
Are you using the playlist, or you
No, I'm playing
Okay.
these. I'm playing these directly off the hard drive, actually.
Oh, okay.
Just save messing about. It was just so I could get all my timings ready. You know what I mean? Get it all.
I got you.
So, all right then. Still with the disgruntled conspiratards of the UK now. I'm sure you all remember the Global Eye Tour last year. Well, Jason and the team are back, and this time it's the COVID Eye Tour. And boy, are they determined to live up to that name. Here they are lying to the poor people of Carlisle.
Testing, testing, testing. That's their only solution. What we're asking today is, are there better solutions than looking at
No one's in charge. No,
I have literally just spoken to that lady there.
And what we did, we faced it down there. We did.
Look at the space.
You know,
yeah.
Right, well, you can't be doing that. Buddy, what you're doing affects you, yeah? This affects all of us right now. This is really important. This affects our lives, our very lives, my kids' lives, everybody's lives. Listen, I'm really sorry. I did aim it down there to be, to courteous. I'm sorry, buddy. It really is important. It's so important.
You do not have to be a crazy conspiracy theorist.
I've discovered that we are at war. We're at war with our government.
The masks are so unhealthy for you. They are suppressing your immune system. They are putting up the 5G. They are constructing the technological society which suits them, because that is how they will control all of us. This is how they've got you thinking. They are making you believe that you've got to be scared of each other.
Whenever you have cell toxicity, your cells produce viruses to clean them up. That's it. That's why you always see these things called viruses whenever there's illness.
If you really know about viruses are not caught from people. Viruses are what the body does as a reaction to toxins.
So if they're not alive, how can they reproduce? If they're not alive, how can they live on a surface or live in the air? They can't. If they're not alive, how can they mutate? They can't mutate. They're substances, not living organisms.
Does anybody know about Bill Gates and his depopulation plan? Bill Gates' ID 2020, look it up. It's not conspiracy theory.
He admitted that he would lower the global population by 10 or 15% using vaccines and reproductive health care.
They've now put through Parliament that they will be giving your children unlicensed vaccines. They are trying to eradicate any other form of healthcare other than their own. They're making you scared of each other, guys. They're making you think that the world is overpopulated. It is not.
Planned Parenthood. If you don't know what Planned Parenthood is, it's an abortion mill that's been it's killed over 70 million children since 1973.
They're trying to move you into these smart cities. There's loads and loads of land out there. They don't want you to be able to be self-sufficient and grow vegetables. Even God gave us the free will to choose between doing right or wrong. And if they take that away, they become God and you become a prisoner. These GMOs food, the processed food is making you sick.
It's all part of depopulation. And this is what Bill Gates represents. Yeah? The elite of this world think there are too many of us here.
There's fluoride being put in the water. All these things are making you unhealthy. And they want to implement a traffic light system on your mobile phone. You'll be tested every day, and the traffic light system will tell you whether you can interact with society or not. We have a magnetic field around us, each and every one of us, and our heart reaches out about 6 feet, 2 meters.
The whole medical establishment was taken over in 1910 by the Rockefeller Foundations.
There's lots of ancient knowledge out there that's been kept from us.
They pushed aside all the real medical knowledge, which was herbology and chiropractic and naturopathic methods. They pushed
pushed them to the side, drove them to a lunatic fringe, and then replaced it with something called allopathic medicine. So what allopathic medicine is dealing only with the symptoms, not the actual cause.
There is a herb and there is a plant for every illness, every organ in your body.
The only way you can get a foreign virus in your body is if you have it injected into you. And
if your body is in an alkaline environment, so this could be just drinking fresh lemon water. This sort of thing helps your body come into alkaline. Disease and illness cannot survive in an alkaline environment. But they will not tell you these things.
On his deathbed, Louis Pasteur said, he basically recanted what he was been talking about all his life. He said, no, it's not the microbe. I was wrong. Bishop was right.
This so-called virus is killed within seconds in the sunlight. Why are they telling you to stay in your house?
You are falling for it. I don't know how many people I've heard praising the universal basic income. Once you accept that, you really are a slave.
I don't like to go on about 5G too much because a lot of people are not very knowledgeable on it. But these towers that have been going up all on lockdown while you're locked in your house. And if you look up radiation sickness, that is what these towers are letting off. Radiation, milliwave radiation, okay? Now you go and look up radiation sickness and the symptoms. It's respiratory, a lot like COVID symptoms. Now this is not a conspiracy theorist. The facts weigh up.
In the new technological hell prison, I will not be stood here talking to you in this way.
If they suspicion of a virus in your house, they can come and take your family members, including your children.
The winter of discontent is coming. I'm not some evangelist weirdo, but that's what they're telling us. They are telling us about an utter shitstorm is coming down the pipe this winter. They're planning it. It's chaos. It's coming. We've got Brexit. We've got food shortages. We've got water rationing. That's not going to be fun. The only way to end this is to end it. The only way they can pull this off is with you all playing along.
They're now saying that if you're sending your kids back to school, then that is your agreement to have the vaccine. You've complied to your kids having the vaccine.
Because if you accept the mask, you accept the daily tests. And if you accept the daily tests, you'll accept the vaccines. And if you accept the vaccine, you'll accept the yearly vaccine. And if it's not an annual vaccine, it'll be 6 months. And then you'll be getting updates to your altered DNA from Bill Gates every month, monthly, weekly. They own this virus, and they own the technology to alter your DNA for you to produce the proteins which produce the virus. Does that sound a bit weird? So they own the virus, they own the DNA then, because it's new DNA. You will be genetically modified.
And while you're all on lockdown, can't go and open your businesses and can't feed your families, the criminals in Westminster gave themselves a pay rise of £10,000.
No, this is the thin end of the wedge. If we don't stop it here, we don't draw a line and say no more, yeah, we won't recognise ourselves as being human anymore. It's that serious. But now, let's just walk past and let's ignore it. Let's put the mask on.
Know your power. Stand in your own sovereignty. Stand in your own right and know your rights. Because these acts and legislations are just ways of these corporate businesses making money. They're trying to draw you into contracts. These are illegal.
Guys, we've come here to Carlisle. We've come here for you guys. We do care. We care that you're not researching. We care that you're watching all these lies on the TV. You believing what it is that you're being told, and you're not researching yourselves. If you're wearing this mask, is it because of lack of research, or is it because of compliance? Are you afraid?
The biggest killer is stress and fear. Fear is making you stressed. That's the biggest killer. They're suppressing your immune systems. The masks are stopping you getting your vital oxygen intake. It's your first human right to breathe oxygen, guys. It's logic, but they've got you brainwashed.
It just takes a little bit of critical thinking. It's common sense, guys. You must realise that these masks are no good. Please do not be in fear, guys. Don't live in fear.
Get on the government website and print yourself out an exemption card. They are there for the taking, and stand up with a revolution. Stand up and be counted. We do not have to wear these masks. They are making you sick. It is a revolutionary act not to wear a mask.
You guys, you must realise that our government, they're leading us down the dark path. Please don't. Wake up, please. Do some research. There isn't anything to be afraid of.
Jason of the Disbury family there, pleading with us all to just do our own research. What a bunch of wankers.
Yeah, I think Dave needs to go back on his piss diet. He looks like he's been drinking too much water, I guess. I don't know what he drinks or eats, but yeah, he's gained some weight.
Flashburn said, "Who would get information from a man who looks like a bagpipe?" Which I thought was funny. Sorry, go ahead.
It is funny. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is about. I get fairly. There's something about crazy ladies that attract me. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I think I was like,
it's something about all ladies that attracts you, Coach Show, isn't there? Let's be
I don't know.
right.
It's something about the crazy. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it seems like. Was there anybody else that I didn't recognize besides Dave and the Jason guy? I think Jason was the guy at the end, right? But
yeah.
But those ladies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know either of those two. I mean, they're on it every day, but I don't know them from anywhere else. I don't know where they've come from.
It's weird that they shifted from it's like globe. They're gonna people are lying about the globe, but now they're just only talking about the virus. And it's just I was thinking when this clip first started, like I totally get it about the mask wearing and people were complaining about it, but there's got to be something about the people like there's got to be. I know there's not a law against it, but it's definitely harmful to be, come up with nonsense and making these declarations like these dire warnings about wearing masks when they have
they're making you ill, guys. They're making you ill. Well, I think people would have noticed if they'd been made ill. They don't need you to tell them that they're getting ill. I mean, it is unbelievable, the arrogance of these people. And we saw again this attitude. And I mean, you really see it when they do some interactions with the public, which I didn't really have time to get to, but I might do that for next week. But this attitude that they've got the lowdown and it's everyone else that just hasn't researched it, because people just don't believe internet bullshit. And you heard all the standard lines she was talking about. You heard a bit of Amanda Vollmer's 6-foot Hartfield in there. Did you notice that went past? And all the Bill Gates stuff.
And there's a cure for everything. Or there's a herb for everything.
Right.
Every disease, every organ in your body. What does that even mean?
Right.
There's a herb for every organ in your body.
I'd love to. What's the ear? The one for your
ear.
Right.
That's a herb for your ear. Okay.
What's the ear herb? What's the other thing? Oh, she said 3 times she referred to people in Westminster. It's Westminster. She doesn't even know. That's like somebody not an American not knowing how to say Washington, D.C.
Yeah, right.
And she said they'd had a £10,000 pay rise. And I mean, I'm not any fan of MPs' pay rises ever, but they didn't have a £10,000 pay rise. They had it's about a £2,500 pay rise or something, £2,000. It was in line with public service pay, basically. But over the level of inflation. So it was criticised somewhat, but it wasn't £10,000. She said that if you if you send your kids back to school, that means you're agreeing to have them vaccinated. I mean, they're absolutely obsessed with vaccinations, these people. Absolutely obsessed with a vaccination which doesn't even yet exist.
Well, it goes in line with what I just said about like there's an absolute danger with, and I totally get like the fear of even vaccines or just like kind of questions about them. But to make declarations and scream about them on the street as if like you were actually warning people, it's kind of like going to a school or maybe a university and screaming to kids not to wear condoms because they're actually dangerous in some way. And if somebody were actually take that on, you might actually put them in danger. So it's like you're putting people in danger if they take what you're saying seriously, like you're some kind of authority.
Right. I mean, they do get quite a lot of kickback. There is some reaction from the public, and most people think they're idiots. They don't seem to get much agreement. You know what I mean? And I don't hear them talking amongst themselves about converting anyone or anything like that. So I don't really know how, because I don't know those two women. I don't see anything. I don't know if they've got channels even. They might have. So I only see what Jason films and what some others who are involved with it film. And
like with the cat dragged in.
Oh, have we got another guest? Sorry, I'm not even looking.
Howdy.
Do I sound all right?
Well, you don't sound great. You could sound louder.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll get closer. How about that?
That will work. That will work. Stay with that.
What's up, America? How you doing, America? And other countries?
This is Tony V, who's joined us. He's one of the cool kids from the Debate Flat Earth and More Discord server.
I'm sort of a big deal.
You shut up, man, for a good clip.
He's a big deal, apparently, he says. Did you see the last clip, Tony? What did you think to it?
No, I didn't see the last clip.
Well,
I'm still on the
you're
one.
absolutely no use to us
I
whatsoever.
know. Well, I was going to throw in stuff from the past, so it really wasn't relevant. So dang it. I was going to say about that guy that was in the square talking about COVID and all that when he was supposed to be talking about social distancing or talking about 9/11.
Oh yeah, well go ahead. Yeah. Give us your thoughts.
All right, he's stupid. That's it.
Sorry?
He's stupid. That's it.
Yeah. He was just, he was just your standard conspiratard, wasn't he? That thinks he knows it all, and he's got to give the information to everyone else, and you can download his information.
Yeah, it just costs you $1.99 a month. Yep.
Yeah. And one of his claims, actually, that I don't think I've heard before, but I don't know if anyone else has, was that his 9/11 proof was that he'd got a photo of like an unexploded bomb in the rubble of 9/11. Apparently, have you heard that before?
No, I've never heard that.
I've never heard that, but I don't want to get into 9/11.
No.
I think differently than you guys, obviously, on that one.
No, I didn't say you. I'm with them. So let's get going. Come on, Curb and Jam against us two.
I was just go ahead, Curb. Sorry.
I want to stick up for one of the Banshees. That was she made a very good point. Look up radiation.
The Banshees. Yeah.
Sorry. Look up radiation sickness, and that's good advice. Do that and understand the difference between that kind of radiation and his fucking 5G.
But isn't 5G?
Do what she did not do. Actually look into it.
Tony, that is horrible noise you're making.
Yeah, your vibrator went off, man. But
dude, thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say something about the. Oh, there he's gone. I was gonna say something about the 9/11 thing. Just there, I don't know about a bomb found in the rubble, but there was another van that they don't bring up too much, and the van did have explosive. I think it was. I thought there was a bomb found in it, but it was explosive residue. Is the only thing I can confirm, and they were taken in. But But yeah, we don't have to get into all that.
Tony said he's trying to get a good 5G network. All right, well, where did we get to? Yeah, I mean, yeah, that lot. I mean, I do feel infuriated that they're out there saying this shit. You know, that's just so arrogant. You know, you haven't researched it. We care that you're not researching, Jason says. You know, and I just think, you idiot. Last year, you were running around Europe telling everyone you think the Earth's flat. You are not an example of someone who has successfully researched anything. You really aren't, if you've concluded the Earth's flat. They came to my city, actually, and I wasn't sure whether to go and see them, but to be honest with you, when the day came, I completely forgot that they were there. And they were they went through a little patch where they weren't live streaming them. So, even on the day, I couldn't sort of nip into town and go and have a look because they just didn't come up. So I didn't really think about it. So I missed them, I'm afraid.
Wait, so this is an actual legit tour, like in the same
Yeah, they're going from city to city. So, and they actually do a bit in it where they go, anyone, it's a public forum. Give us your thoughts. You can come on the microphone. So I thought, I could actually, challenge some of their idiotic claims on their microphone. But I think the moment has passed for that, perhaps. So I'm not sure. They're up in Scotland, and I'm not going all that way. So I don't know. I don't know where they are next, but I guess there probably isn't much more of it. I don't know.
Well, I hope they run to Dell again. That was kind of funny with Jason versus Dell.
Yeah, I don't think he's really concerned himself with that, has he? He's still,
just the flat Earth and the weather. That's it.
Yeah, I think the water argument doesn't really work when it comes to whether they should wear a mask or not, does it? I think that's perhaps his problem. Right, shall we have another clip? I've got to make it the right size.
Very sorry today.
What? Did you have something to say, Kurt? Or were you just sort of grunting, Joe?
I said all right.
He's like that producer in the background with the headset on.
All right. Okay. Right. Where are we? Let me. Oh gosh. It's not gone too bad though, has it? I don't think. I think it's gone all right so far tonight. Okay. And now for happier news. Here is Bob from Globebusters to tell us more. Coming up any moment.
As I was saying earlier, the interest in the subject is growing absolutely exponentially. I was contacted about a month ago by a television production company, and they make series for Netflix, for a lot of the networks. They have a huge customer base that they make all kinds of television shows for. And they are talking about, they expressed to me, and also Wendell Walton and, Dave Weiss and Mark Sargent are talking to all of us, and they're talking about, the subject, the interest in this subject is absolutely exploding. And they want to document that. And obviously, all of our response initially was one of extreme skepticism. And, I think we almost, bit their head off a little bit, because of, what happened with Behind the Curve. But I have to say that after talking with these guys, they seem to be quite serious about this. And there is a legitimate interest, I think, in wanting to cover this fairly, at least, so they're saying. It is now at the point now that, they have pretty much got the backing and the funding and the support and everything they need to actually go forward with this television series, right? It's actually going to be a series of shows, and I'm not exactly sure what the format is going to be, if it's going to be reality type or how it's going to work exactly. That's something that we're going to be discussing next week, actually. And maybe David already got there with them, but one of the big concerns that I had, is like, well, what happened with Behind the Curve and how we were misrepresented, and how they had Jaron on camera saying interesting and left it at a point where it looked like he had just proven the curvature of the Earth, which was absurd. And of course, I told him that I get trolled daily about the 15 degrees per hour constantly. I hear that all the time, even though they were fully aware of the rest of the story. And they said, well, in this particular thing, you would have partial creative control on it. And obviously, if this is going to be a series type of thing, if we're not representing you guys in the way that you are wanting this to go, then we realize that, you're going to wind up walking. And then we're going to be standing there, with a bag in our hand, which of course makes a lot of sense, right? So the more I look at it, the more I really am understanding that these guys are serious about it. I think that they really do want to give a fair shake. And I got to tell you guys, these people are not stupid. They are fully aware of what's going on. They're fully aware of the pedophilia. They're fully aware of what went on with 9/11 and all the other disasters and things that we are not allowed to talk about on YouTube.
Bob, I was gonna ask you. Did you probe them on the flat earth and the questions and stuff? How did they react? What did you gauge from that?
Well, after I was done with them, they were blown away. They literally were blown away. I mean, when I talked to them, something came over me, and I gave them a download dump like I have never done before in my life. And, it blew me away. I mean, I was amazed at what came out of my mouth. But it was like, it was like I was being guided or something. And so they were absolutely blown away by it. And like I said, they were fully on board already with a lot of the stuff, that is going on in the world. And, I said, look, my biggest concern with you guys is, you're very, very interconnected with Hollywood. And Hollywood these people are absolutely in this knee deep. So they said, well, believe it or not, not all of Hollywood is together. There are different, I guess, factions of Hollywood and
Makes sense.
So, like I said, it sounds, again, very encouraging. But so, yeah, I'm thinking that it's going to be a good thing, and it's going to be a multi-series thing. And I want to know what other people think about it. Because here's the thing, guys, if we don't do this, if we don't, try and get more mainstream exposure, and if we don't do it specifically, like people like myself and David Weiss and Wendell Walton and Shelley Lewis and stuff like that, then they will find somebody else that will. And, I'm not crowing or anything, but I would much rather have me be the representative than somebody like, I don't know, Ronnie or Jason, right?
I don't know. And again, I'm just a little standoffish because of what happened. And I look at it a little bit differently. I just think that it is out there in the mainstream enough now that if people are looking for the truth, and again, I think it takes a certain kind of person to be looking for the truth. The truth isn't for everyone. So if it is somebody who is looking, who is searching, they are going to stumble across flat earth. They are going to start looking into it. And then all you have to do is look into it and you get to where we are. This is why the numbers keep growing. This is why the mainstream can't stand it. This is why it's very shocking to them, because they don't expect people to look into this and find the stuff that we've been telling them they'll find. So for me, as far as a show, I can't picture any show exploring this in any truth at this point, just because we haven't seen it yet.
I was wondering, Bob, if they gave you any hints of the format, how they plan to do it. How you guys going to interact? Are you going to talk to ballers? Is it going to be what is the what's the idea, the plan? Is there a plan?
Well, that's something that they are asking us for our input on, and they absolutely are serious about giving us a certain degree of creative control. And so obviously they're the professionals and all this stuff. But yeah, we will definitely have a degree of creative control, and that's why I'm kind of discussing this and reaching out to the community for the community's thoughts, because, like I said, I think it's something that needs to be done. We certainly can't get ripped on any worse, right? I mean, well, maybe we can, maybe we can't, but if we don't take the risk, we're certainly never going to advance it, and that's the way I see it, And the other thing about this is, having learned a few crucial lessons, we can now contractually provide, that certain things will be done a certain way. In other words, we can get them contractually, that they are obligated to give us all footage that is shot, or allow us to co-shoot the footage, or, stuff like that. Like when they told Jaron, oh yeah, we'll give you all this stuff, and then they pulled it. Well, when we sold it, now we can't do that anymore. That kind of crap. But if it's in the contract, then they have no way around it, right? And those are the kind of things that we have to be smart about. And Wendell and Shelley have a very good entertainment attorney that they are working with, and that we'll be working with, and trying to hash all these details out. But
yeah, if they're willing to share with you all the footage that they take and edit, from all the interviews, all the substance materials, then, I mean, if they're willing to do this, then that would be quite a guarantee, because you can cut whatever documentary you want after that as a rebuttal to anything they do.
Exactly.
But you don't want to be fished into that game either, right? Where they do whatever they want, and then you have to be responding to, you want it to go well, as best as you can possibly make it.
Yeah, and the other thing you have to look at is, so say they're legit, right? And things go as we would like them to go, or at least pretty close to that. And we actually get these series out, and we're able to, unhindered, provide our full arguments on things and our counter arguments. For example, me being able to go in detail into the full, fiber optic gyro experiment, what happened, what the 15 degrees actually was, for Jaron to actually be able to do that, and even be able to possibly redo those experiments at their expense, by the way, because they're the ones that are going to be footing the bill for this. So we actually also would have a budget that they're paying for to be able to do stuff like this. So, I mean, wow. Right? So assuming it does go, well, I mean, think what a shot in the arm that would be.
Pretty sweet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get budget to do all kinds of experiments, and you get to go to places, and you get to look at stuff and make comparisons, if that's what you have in mind, like a flat Earth expedition crew, like you go around and you do all kinds of things, and you present it, and you look at the findings, and you have meetings with other people and stuff like that. If that's what it is, looking at the social aspect of it, the meetings, that would be great. I mean, if there's no interference, something that you don't have the antagonists in there, all these little characters that they introduce in the silly behind the curve, right? They're experts, which is a total sham. And I look into that. But, if it's just you guys doing what you do, looking at all the information, going through the details, and you cover different, and you go to different places and make observations, that would be incredible on their expense. Wow.
Exactly. And, a lot of people are saying, well, and by the way, the person that said this, that they're all pedo-wood, they're all Hollywood, they're all in it together, they're never going to let this go. I said that exact thing to them. I said, look, I go, if you honestly believe that you are going to be able to pull this off and be successful with it, in taking even a somewhat fair representation of the flat Earth, I go, honestly, I think you're delusional. I don't think it'll ever happen. But their answer to that is that, look, not everybody is on the same team here. Believe it or not, there are definitely different, factions, different, whatever. And it's not like all of Hollywood is in on it. A great majority, absolutely, but not all of it. And, as long as they've got the money in the backing and, certain areas, then, they feel confident that they can actually pull, this kind of stuff off. So, so believe me, I'm very skeptical on it as well. So there you have it.
Yeah, and that was Bob talking about his what's like to be a new TV series, not just a single documentary sort of thing.
And who's
It's
who's putting
easier
that
for
on?
me
The
to
same
understand.
people?
Sorry. Damn that thing. Sorry about that. Sorry, say that again.
You said who's doing the TV series though? Because I
We
didn't.
don't know. They've been approached by some big a company that produces stuff for Netflix and other mainstream organizations. He said.
Scott Veach.
I know we could have done with
Not our
Scott
match.
here, couldn't we, for this one? He could have given us
Yeah,
a
it's
bit of
probably him.
insight.
That's probably why he's hiding. He's secretly putting this thing on, put on this show. I mean, that's definitely interesting. It's definitely it's one of those things that somebody's going to do it, and yeah, I mean, it'd be good to have been the person to do that. But there's definitely a lot of content there for a reality show or some kind of show. You know, interviewing some of these people, or just kind of like what we're doing, almost like, you know, you're presenting a lot of the clips that are being put out there. And there's certainly a lot of content to be had. So, but I thought it was interesting that I guess Bob was in talks with the people who made the film, though.
Right.
And they're talking about legal repercussions from possibly. I guess I don't know if he's talking about suing them or something like that, or
No, I mean, they haven't
creative rights.
They haven't made anything yet. He's talked to this production company about being in this series when they make it. The legal representation he was talking about was he was talking about, like, with, you know, there's this story that with Behind the Curve, that when Jaron did his experiment, he asked them for the footage.
Right.
They had told him that he could have the footage, or I think he just assumed it at first, and then he asked them, and they said he could, and then when it came to it, they said he couldn't.
Right.
And they were sort of talking about that, saying, "Oh, we will," you know, but they're never going to get them to agree that they can have all the footage, because that's the value in it is the footage, isn't it? That, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not how it works.
Pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to shoot all this footage, and then say, "Oh yeah, you can have a copy. Do what you like with it. Produce your own documentary with it." You know, that's never going to happen. So,
well, because I guess I don't know, they're not going to agree to that, of course, but I for some reason I thought he was talking about having talks again with the people from the documentary and getting that footage, but yeah, no, they're not going to do that. But I mean, it's odd. He's talking about it like they misrepresented him, but that's not even the main part that got replayed. The part that got replayed is when he's actually saying point blank, like, if this got out there, you know, it could be pretty bad, because
right.
I forget his exact words, but yeah, he's like, yeah, if this gets out there, you know, it doesn't look good, that we're not getting the results we want.
He sort of stitched himself up, really, didn't he? With, you know,
yeah,
by saying that, you know.
Yeah, his eyes dart around, like, looking for. He's like, "Oh crap, what did I just say?" He's like looking around to see if he's on camera or whatever.
Right. Todd Allen just gave me a super chat, a nice big fat one as well, I must say. And Todd says, "Trolls' lives matter." Isn't that the truth?
It is the truth, man. And you know what I was thinking about when I was watching the last clip? Yeah, right. The clip with Bob Nodell. But I really do hope. Like, I think about it, I'm like, dude, these guys, he's like an old man. He's not even a grown man. He's an old man, and he believes this. But at the end of the day, I hope. I don't want it to die, man. I mean, I'm glad that there's people who believe this crazy stuff. So it's entertaining, and it's also it just makes life colorful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be boring if everybody would.
I do know what you mean, and I think it will make a great series. I do. I mean, I think. Sure. I mean, one of the things he was saying was, you know, well, they're, you know, if it doesn't go as we want to, we can walk off, and then they've only got half a series. And, you know, I guess that's quite a good point. But I think also, in the same way, he's not thinking about how that kind of works against them, in the, you know, they're stuck in this series where clearly there's going to be they're going to try and draw it to some sort of a conclusion, aren't they? And you imagine that this is going to involve them doing various activities to try and establish the shape of the Earth, and ultimately being confronted with a sort of unavoidable truth about it, And that's how I see it. I mean, I could be completely wrong, of course, but do you know what I mean? And how are they going to deal with that moment when it comes, and what is that going to make them look like?
Well, they also go ahead, Curve.
Oh, I was just thinking, is it really a series? Even though the show goes on, you only appear in like one show, don't you? In Wife Swap, if that's what they're doing, a bunch of these clowns going in Wife Swap, and then
no, this is not Wife Swap, Curved.
Are you sure?
You're gonna swap Riley for Karen.
Oh, okay, then I misunderstood something. All right.
No, but I mean, if they think like a documentary, if they got screwed in that, documentaries for the most part, they're not really trying to. It wasn't a hit piece, and so it was definitely not a reality TV show. A reality TV show, though, is a much different beast, to where you probably think and you're living through it, you probably think one thing is happening, and when it gets played and they piece weeks of stuff together for 30 minutes or whatever, it ends up being something completely different that the producers are kind of just creating, and they're making it seem like this narrative is happening, and it's going to be completely at least, I mean, it might be very truthful, but I'm saying from their perspective, from Bob's and Jaren's and whoever, they're definitely not going to be happy with how it turns out, because it's going to take all the wackiest stuff that they do in that length of time and put it together in 30 minutes. Action packed show.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I thought Jerenism's reaction was, he wasn't keen at all, was he? And he sort of said, well, he sort of made this point about how it takes a certain sort of person. It's almost like he knows, I think, now that the Earth isn't flat. I think he knows.
What do you mean by that? I mean, I must have missed that part. He said it takes a certain type of person to what?
He said, it takes it, because he was sort of saying, he said, well, it's already out there in the mainstream enough, and it takes a certain sort of person to believe flat Earth, and
the truth is not for everybody. The truth's not for everybody.
That
right.
sort of thing,
I was like, what the hell? The truth's not for everybody. What are you talking about, dude?
I mean, he's basically saying you've got to be a conspiratard to believe it.
Right, yeah, exactly. You have to be willing to accept this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. The truth is for everybody, and if it's true, there's no reason why everybody can't accept it. So that's just a cop out.
Well,
that's evidence that he's actually doesn't believe it.
It's a sort of, well, I don't know, but it's a sort of a position of retreat, isn't it? It's like, I'm not even gonna bother trying to convince anybody else of this massive lie being perpetrated on humanity. You know what I mean? I'm not even gonna. They're gonna have to come to me, having already convinced themselves that that's happening. Yeah.
I don't want to call this guy out, but it's kind of Lemon-esque, because Lemon does that a lot too.
Yeah, it's lame, isn't it? I mean, a lot of them are doing that. Oakley does it as well, doesn't it? I'm not a flat Earth evangelist. I'm a YouTuber. He's just going to sit there screaming and trying to catch people out. But again, apparently we're supposed to believe thinks this massive lie is being perpetrated on humanity. And he, according to him, has undebunkable proof of the lie, and yet he's just going to sit on YouTube and scream about it and not do anything else,
Right.
You have to sort of doubt, you know what I mean? There doesn't seem to be don't time Dell out. Somebody's timed Dell out. Don't time Dell out. What did he do?
He's a big fan of yours.
Let me see
Which
what
is cool.
let me see what he said. View deleted message.
Yeah, I'm curious myself. No, but he's watching your the stream from the Discord and watching this. I mean, he should participate. I don't think he should be timed out either.
Shut up, Smeagol, you lunatic. Yeah, don't time that out, please. No need for that. Right, yeah. Yes. Sorry, yeah, I'm distracted. So, although having said that, I've been banned on about 50 accounts on this channel. So.
Sure, but still, I mean, I agree with you at the end of the day. Because like I said, he seems to be an avid fan, and there's nothing wrong with that. Because he's, like I said, he's watching the Discord channel in the chat, and I think it'd be nicer if he participated, of course, but he's paying attention at least, so hell with it.
He'll be back in a minute, Dal, anyway, or 5 minutes. I don't like that timeout thing. It's too long. All right, shall we have the final one?
I'm ready for this,
we've all
yeah.
been waiting for. Oh, God, I'm in the wrong place on the script.
Indeed.
As I thought I would be. And finally this evening, I know I've kept you waiting weeks for this. The suspense has been unbearable. But finally tonight, we can reveal the secrets of the King's Cave. Oh, bollocks. Hang on a minute. Hang on. I'm going to go back to the beginning because I've got the sound turned down again while I was lining it up. Hang on a sec. Right, now we're going to reveal the secrets of the King's Cave with less build-up. Right, here it is.
Mahoney, get Vickers and Dawson and get yourselves down to Portugal.
He's not brought his passport, you stupid fool. Don't need one.
The Algarve coast, with its amazing beaches, friendly people, and great weather, attracts tourists from all over the world. Geologists have developed a scientific theory that the coastline itself was formed by plasma arcing millions of years ago.
So we met up with Carrie, and she took us the next morning and showed us exactly where the cave was. And we had to help each other a lot, going around the side, and you're looking straight down, you know, it's a bit of a drop. When we got to the cave, it was like, wow. The part which struck me the most was how he carved in the stone, King.
Out of the entire landscape, there's nothing growing there. But right in front of the cave, there's a great big bush of local heather. And it was the only bush growing anywhere on the entire mountainside. We don't know where the water source is for that bush. It's very strange.
So when we started digging, it was interesting because it was about a 6 foot by 5 foot section we had to dig up, and we weren't sure what was going to be there.
That's got to be it, no?
Because it was only 3 inches under the ground, we had to sort of scrape the top off without, you know, digging deep in case we broke something. So when I scraped the first top of the bottle, I took the label off it, And then we're like, wow, we found it! Oh my god!
Okay, so that side, let's clear this side a bit more. Greg? Another challenge we've got you on, mate. Well, you're going to give us something hard next time. Yeah. We got it. I don't think it's come. I think it's just come off because the neck itself is clean. Well done, everybody.
We found a few things we need to ask you about. You told us to go digging, we dug. So we need to ask you about this bottle we found. All right, I'm going to get in there and...
There, I can see something
Hang on.
sticking out. That's got my claim to the ownership of the cave wrapped around the bottle.
Ah.
And I had it rolled up with a wax seal inside the bottle.
Well, we
Now-
can't figure that out then, because Carrie found the title deed to the cave, and the
Yeah.
bottle we found when we dug it up, the cork was out of the bottle.
Well, someone's dug it up and done something symbolic.
Well, yeah, that makes sense, because the bottle, you can't see it probably, Greg. The bottle is a very expensive bottle of Portuguese port. A really
Right.
nice bottle.
Okay, well, what I've got here, you see, this mark here is the mark of Prince Regent Duke Governor of the Ports of the Algarve. What they've done is they've replaced my clear bottle with the ownership to the cave, and then inside the bottle with a wax seal on it, and they've replaced it with a bottle of port acknowledging this, Ports of the Algarve, and then wrapped my deeds on the outside of the bottle.
That's strange. Who do you think did that then?
The Rosicrucians and the Portuguese intelligence, because I was at a birthday dinner with the second in charge of Portuguese intelligence. He was Rosicrucian, and he said that he would be the head of Portuguese intelligence.
That night, we pondered the mystery of the switch bottles. Why would someone go to all that trouble for a seemingly valueless artifact? Having been placed in an exact position underneath the word king, in a loving and caring way, surely the bottle must be the clue. And then we saw it, staring at us the whole time. The only words legible on the bottle began with the letters LBVP. We decoded these and it came up with 12:2, which is the book of Genesis, the first part of the Bible, and 22:16, which is the book of Revelations. After yesterday's discoveries, we sent the decoded information to Greg, and he asked us to come here to these ancient ruins in a place called Abacada. Now these are incredibly important, and he talks about this in episode 1.
The biggest secret in the Catholic Church is that there were two Jesuses.
In AD 33 to 37, the two Jesuses came here to Portugal and used this building behind me to write the book of Revelations.
And that's all you get. For now.
Oh my God. I was at the edge of my seat because I'm so confused though. Honestly, I'm trying to be honest and honestly decipher this. And I can't tell if he did that.
Right.
Like if he went back and I don't know. It's weird. It's like,
because
what's
at
going
one
on?
point he was saying, "Oh well, I put the title deed inside the bottle, and now it's outside the bottle." And then at another point, Mahoney was saying to him, "Oh, you can't see it, but it's a bottle of very expensive port." Well,
right.
He would have known that, right? If he'd so I didn't get it. And
here's the other thing. Go ahead.
You know, when somebody in the chat was saying that it looked like it was freshly buried, and I think when I look at the shots where they're digging it up, if you look carefully, I don't think they're even at that cave. You know, I think they're on a beach or something somewhere. The sand looks very, it looks like sand. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like, sort of lumpy cave bottom soil. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that part. Yeah,
it's all one texture, one sort of sandy texture, and I guess you could have that in a cave that high up, but I don't know.
Our boy Chris Lale's here.
Chris Lale is here. Well, actually, Lale is here.
Yeah.
It's always nice to hear from Curved and King Kosho on days like this. Thank you very much for the super chat, Chris.
Oh, you're gonna get my head chopped off, Chris, Mr. Lale, if you keep calling me king. I hope that this king knights me. I'll be honest with you. I'd be nice if I become a British citizen and knight. But then again, like I'm saying, like I can't tell if. By the way, I don't want to believe that these guys who are producing this video, I don't want to believe that they're faking anything. So I'm not gonna go with you on there on the beach or something. I'm gonna have to go ahead and believe they're really in that same cave,
right.
The cave that says king on the side. But at the same time, when he was sitting there and he was showing them his seal, and he was showing them, and he was describing the seal on this bottle that he didn't put in there, but he happens to know what seal's on the bottle. That part was kind of telling to me because he was like, "Oh, wait, they have that seal on that bottle," which he didn't see that. It's like all covered in dirt and stuff. So, that part was kind of bizarre. But then again, maybe I'm misunderstanding what exactly he's even trying to claim. But yeah, so I don't even know what the importance of that deed is. Like, why would he have a deed to a cave, and why would it be important?
I know. Who issues a deed to a cave? How does that even happen?
I don't know exactly. I don't know where you get that from. Why you would need that? Who you show it to? But still. I don't know. This guy, I like this guy, man. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about. These kind of people. I'm glad people like this exist. It makes the world more colorful. This guy is trouble.
What do you call it a cave, man? It's a royal cave. It's got king inscribed. Come on.
If that stuff's true, like if those producers are right, like that is cool actually. That when it said king like that on the cave like that, I thought that was like awesome. Like he really even back then he knew he was king.
Right. Well, he knew from when he was 10, if you remember the original story. Somebody from I don't know, the UK government used to come and visit him or something when he was 10 years old, I think, or even younger. Dell says, Smeagol, that must be me, doesn't need the super chat. Hang on, I must read this out. I'll just correct him. He's put another one here. Gets Pip and begs for money online while spreading delusional nonsense about globe Earth. Well, actually, Del, I must just interject with this. I don't get Pip. I am actually applying for Pip for the first time. PIP is personal independence payment. It's a disability payment that you get in the UK. which is not means tested, which means you can have a job and get PIP. You can be really rich and get PIP. Anyone who has a disability of sufficient seriousness can get PIP. So that's my PIP situation. I don't get PIP. I am currently applying for it. So if I do get it, it will be many months probably before that happens. I think the shortest time I've heard is 10 weeks. And some people I've heard have been over a year. So it's not happening very quickly. And if you do get it, you get at the maximum, I think you get £120 a week.
I hope that all works out. And honestly, I hope when the new king is taken over, I hope he I hope he keeps that and he maybe gives some more. I'm sure he will. We'll have to get some love from the people. So I'll have to spread the love around.
Truth Nerd says, Del is right. You don't need this at all. Thank you very much for that, Truth Nerds. And oh gosh, now look what you've done, Del. You've made it worse. Todd Allen says, shout out to Del, my old mate, who yells at the rain.
Yells at the rain.
You do that, Del, actually. Curved, what did you think to the king?
I don't know what the big deal is. It's just a matter of time before he ascends to the throne. Don't get on his bad side. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. So I don't need. Oh, Chris is here. Chris is saying something else.
Yeah, he says, Jem, why do you keep DMing me in Discord to super chat you? That's a conspiracy.
Yes, it is.
Who said that? Layla's here?
Yeah.
That Layla's here guy, he's fun.
He's stitching me up.
Yeah. Oh shit. No, but I back to the king guy. I just what was it? Right. With the bush, the whole burning bush thing. Well, it wasn't burning, but
yeah,
that got to me. Because I was thinking of the burning bush, and it does say Curve's right. The name of the cave is King. It's Royal Cave, and I don't know. There really is something like I'm.
Well, he said they don't know where the water source is, but it's on the side of a cliff. There's probably water running down the cliff when it rains. I imagine.
It does rain there. Yeah. But yeah, I hope this is true. That really would it'd make my year.
It's all got a bit crazy, hasn't it, with the two Jesuses? But there is actually a bit more than that. But I'll save that for next week. Mr. Bozo Head says, Deltard, did you like my Guitar Hero vid? I haven't seen that myself. You feel free to link it if you want to. And then Todd Allen says, Lale should change his name to Never Fun.
Oh,
God, I've made a fortune tonight. I've made more than the disability a PIP payment. So,
but you better hope Del, or maybe you should read more of Del's comments next week. He said something else too. I'm not sure.
Are you still on the register, Jose? You should be, you creep.
Well, he asked a question in the server on the YouTube chat for the server the other day. Chemo spent a lot of energy reading it out. It was kind of dumb. I got to be honest. It was about seeing the sun from England and Australia at the same time, which, it's fucking. It's really obvious, but yeah.
Well, join us for more talk like that in the Debate Flat Earth and More Discord server.
Indeed.
Shall
come on, Jim.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Come on in, Del, because I mean, I know I don't know if you're worried about being able to talk or whatever, but we'd be happy to hear from you.
Only Sheeple can see, only Sheeple can't see, says, you forced my hand, Del. You are giving this to Jem. You see, Dal, look at the trouble you've caused. Thank you anyway, Dal, for saying that. For giving me a chance to whine on about my disability payment that I haven't got. Anyway, shall we call it a day? Because we have been going for 2 hours and 26 minutes, which, considering how few of us there is quite an achievement, I feel.
Indeed.
Lael is here, says, all right, Jem, quit DMing me. Here's 5. Oh, my God.
He's funny, man. I don't care what they say.
I want to finish the show, but I also want people to keep giving me money. So if anybody's got any more money to give me, can you do it now, please? Or I am going to just end the show. Right, I'm going to end the show. A great big thank you to everyone who donated to my PayPal and my Super Chat so far. If you can support the show, please follow the links in the description. And please, please, please subscribe to the channel. Join us again next week for more fabulous flatness. In the meantime, if you see something you think should be included in the show, please post a timestamp link in the comments section of this video. Or join our Discord server. The link is in the description, along with channel links for tonight's panel. Our Discord has over 2,000 members, and we managed to keep the conversation going virtually 24/7. We welcome members with opposing views, so click the link and join us. Thanks again to tonight's fabulous panel. Thanks to all of you for watching. We'll be back around the same time next week, so until then, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video.
Stop talking about it and do something! Suck my dick, Earth, with that bullshit.
Really?
It's like a gentle hate. Do we have another benevolent star here? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you benevolent and your friend?
My name is Logan Paul, and I think I'm coming out of the flat earth closet.
This is so fucking depressing. I can't be a flat earth person.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have a flat earth and things making sense.